Does it take an Englishman to show Australians how precious their literary heritage is? Well, one artistic director is doing just that, taking the classic work of Henry Lawson and bringing it to life on stage. Petty Traffikers could be the name of one of Lawson's short stories, but in fact it's the name of an acting troupe transforming his work into theatre. As production companies go, Petty Traffikers is about as lean as you can get. It's a sparseness which is matched by the landscapes Henry Lawson wrote about and the dialogue the actors deliver.
Load! Bag! Sack! Oh, bag! Started out over the ridge. Follow.
Petty Traffikers are performing The Bush Undertaker and The Drover's Wife, and every word spoken was written by Lawson, all in the third person.
The old man, used to the weird and dismal, felt the icy breath of fear in his heart.
Artistic director Stuart Moritz says Lawson's writing is up there with the best.
Absolutely up there with I reckon Lawson's short stories are as good as James Joyce's, and certainly D.H. Lawrence. That's where they fit with me.
Moritz's wife, actor Anastasia Malinoff, has memories of studying Lawson as a Melbourne schoolgirl, but says she's discovering it afresh.
Yes, it was actually, because I think the depth and the loneliness in it, I didn't pick that up as a younger reader. There's just this depth of sadness and loneliness and struggle that was so prevalent then, you know, in society 100 years ago. Yeah, just rich with that information.
Academic Chris Wallace-Crabb says Lawson's writing powerfully evokes the struggles of the era.
Well, he's a central figure, but a central figure of a particular period. The gold rushes were over, farming was harsh, people were very poor, and a depression was coming on. So he expresses the toughness of response that drovers and people like that had.
Alligator gets an apple and has the snake out. Oh, a black brute, 5 feet long.
If adapting Lawson's short stories has been a challenge, imagine being a dog in each play.
Although you're not saying anything for the entire story, and you're actually in the situation where as a dog you're actually thinking conversation all the time, even if you're not being talked to. Like you're looking after your master or your mistress constantly. So yeah, it's more work than being a person, really.
The decision not to rewrite the piece, but to have performers describing their own actions as they bring Lawson's words to life, puts the focus squarely on the writing.
The hair on the back of his neck begins to bristle and the battle light is in his yellow eyes.
How's that? Is that better or worse, or how does it feel for you, Grant?
Stuart Moritz is unsure whether being a foreigner made him view the works differently to those of us who did Lawson at school and left him there when we moved on.
I don't carry any baggage about Lawson. I suppose I respond on a level of just to the characters. And the characters are great, and they've got huge heart, and they belong to this landscape which is extraordinary, and they do this extraordinary work.
Someone who comes in from outside has the freedom, the clarity of eyes sometimes to say, hey, you're not looking at what's right under your nose. You're not looking at what should matter for you guys.
I couldn't understand why. I'd been in the country 4 years before I heard about The Sentimental Bloke, and I couldn't understand why this is not being, you know, why it's not just such a part of the way what people talk about, and why it's not re-examined every 3 years, and, you know, like Hamlet would be in England.
It's a shame that, you know, the younger generation now don't have that information. They're not privy to it, you know, that there's a whole generation out there that just know all his stories, and he's such a prolific writer.
The Bush Undertaker and The Drover's Wife were performed to rave reviews at the Castlemaine Festival, and Stuart Moritz is considering taking the plays on a statewide tour.
I thought, well, I'll make it my area to actually keep bringing back these gems.
And you can see Henry Lawson brought to life on stage at 45 Downstairs, Flinders Lane, until the 29th of May.